I was diagnosed with throat cancer. It's probably the most common cancer for men between 40 and 50 years old. High success rate, but there's a lot of treatment that goes with that. My life was very different. A couple of years ago, I was running on a 4-year Olympic cycle, working with a couple of Olympic teams, one based in Perth and the other one based in Norway. You know, the typical Australian male, fairly bulletproof. I'm not putting my hand up for any support. I'm climbing this mountain by myself. I was basically at the beach and had come out of the water and discovered a small bump on my neck. It just looked like one of my glands was up. No one was actually really committing early in the piece. A lot of we're not too sure. And this doesn't just get solved within a day. You know, there's tests and x-rays and you've got to wait, you know, for those results to come through. So I'd say those 9 to 10 days were incredibly challenging. I was really angry. And then I was, you know, from anger, then, you know, you go through those stages, a lot of frustration, a lot of anxiety. I'll be honest with you, I was really scared, incredibly scared. Yeah, I probably got some really harsh advice from the nursing coordinator. She basically came up and said, you know, there's a brick wall here and there's a doorway and you keep running into the brick wall. Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of people through the doorway that want to help you, but until you surrender, completely surrender, we can't help you. Within 2 weeks, I'd had 2 operations. And then by the 3rd week, I'd had my 3rd operation. And then it was like, as a precaution, we were going to send you to the hospital, and that's, you know, 56 days, radiation every day at 2:15, chemo once a week. Sort of big enough to ride a horse for the Melbourne Cup, from 75 kilos to 50, and just battling to walk 10 feet. You know, let alone stand in the shower and wash yourself. The hospital is one mountain that you climb, and then when you come out, there's a whole new mountain to climb. For example, to eat 1 pea out of hospital took 100 chews and 10 mouthfuls of water to eat 1 pea. To drink 1 cup of watermelon juice took 1 whole day. I mean, it wasn't like you just got out of bed the first day out of hospital when you're home and went, right, let's go. You know, it took over an hour just to loosen up this neck every day. I couldn't even lift these arms up much more than this. They had all like nearly completely frozen as well. And you still have the food tube in your stomach, and you're still being fed by that 24 hours. Like anything, you're gonna have to, you know, learn to accept it. I pushed it away for the first couple of weeks. So he could be there for a couple more months afterwards, which is good, just in case. It's just a really, really good precautionary. A yoga teacher that came twice a week, you know, so I could open up my body without breaking it. You know, a really great nutritionist where it was like, these are the juices we want to eat, this is the food we want to avoid, you know, this is the water intake we want to have. It just gave me a really clearer mind that, you know, that the liver and kidneys that had been completely hammered, you know, we're going to get cleansed out and freed up. And I still have my checkups, and I'm still eating really well, and I'm still looking after myself and doing my yoga and my meditation. So the next adventure is basically taking the smallest boat and circumnavigating Australia. It's just a little boat with a little cabin. The proceeds will be going to helping people come out of that hospital system. When you're on that corporate or that busy, you know, the treadmill of life, it's a bit like the rotor at Luna Park. You're hanging on as hard as you can, and then all of a sudden I was completely flung off. You know, I didn't want to go back into my old program of just throwing myself back into a job of 100 hours a week. It was more like, right, yeah, this is definitely a sign that I've noticed, and I want to make some changes here, and I want to live my life differently. Don't brand it, good or bad. You know, I just look at it as an experience, you know, and I'm grateful for the whole experience.